I want us to take a look now at what happens with our married relationships when we're asking, what does your mate do that makes you feel closest to them? So men's responses, 51% of men said, I feel closest to my mate when they demonstrate affection. That's a kiss, that's a hug, that's a hand holding. It's separate from physical intimacy, sexual intimacy, but it's similar to that. When they have fun with me, I feel close to them when they're having fun with me. When they share their thoughts and feelings, physical intimacy, sexual intimacy, I feel closest to them then. 33% when they're listening to me. Women, when he shares his thoughts and feelings with me, or when my partner shares his thoughts and feelings with me. When they listen to me. When they have fun with me, when they demonstrate affection, when they provide a sense of security. So there's some here, this was not on the woman's list of the top 5. It was on the list, it was down the road. Providing a sense of security was not on the men's top list. All right, let's take a look at this and what happens over time. Women, what do you wish your mate would do more frequently? So the number one here, in this period of time and when their kids at home, plan a romantic evening. This isn't, again, rocket science, and it's not that hard, but you gotta be intentional about it. They're saying, please, this is what I need right now, is for you to plan a romantic evening. But look, that falls way down here, as you get older, because you're spending a lot more time together. All right, and then, as you look at a couple of these other ones, you find sharing thoughts and feelings. Well, again, we learn in the 60s, that ends up being a serious issue. It becomes, more serious for the woman. I want you to talk to me. I want you to share your thoughts and feelings with me. I want you to listen to me right over here. And so those have gone way up. Let's take a look at what men said. So again, we start seeing a dramatic change in the 30s, a huge rise in the number of men who were saying, I wish we had more physical intimacy, more sexual intimacy. And that peaks at this point for men in the 40s. And so again, as I mentioned, that's a dangerous time. But look what happens. It begins, we begin to see a dramatic change here until you finally get over here and you find, we're dancing together, as we've already learned. Okay, I want you to notice two other things. Demonstrating affection, same thing. So we find, this is something the men who had been married, who are aged 40 to 49, they're saying, I really wish we had more affection. But I want you to notice, I love this. What I wish my wife would do more of, or my spouse would do more of, is you get here to the 40s and 49, and then look what goes up. It's this blue line, and you know what that is? Nothing. My mate does all of these things just about right. Don't you love that? And I'd like for LaVon to be able to say that about me. I feel like I say that about her. She's, somebody once said, they'd been married more than 50 years. We said, so, what would you change about your mate? And they said, nothing. After 50 years, I've got him just about the way I want him. And that, I think, is part of what happens here. All right. So as we think about this, by the way, I think I have one more slide here, and that is, of all the single adults, which attributes do you most desire in a potential partner or spouse? So again, this is important for all of us, married people too, to know this is what, if you weren't married right now, this is what your current mate would want in you. 63%, I want somebody who's honest and trustworthy. 74% of women, honest and trustworthy. Dishonesty is a deal killer in a relationship. 50% emotionally stable, men said. 47% women said humorous and funny. Strong faith from men is number 3. That's surprising that men had it so high. Women, strong faith, number 4. Good communicator here. Emotionally stable, compassion. So humorous and fun, physically attractive, intelligent. Right? These are the things that our single people told us were important to them. All right, so again, to the degree that we can, if we know what constitutes a deposit, really simple marital advice, do more of what constitutes a deposit. Be more of the kind of spouse that your spouse would want to marry if they weren't already married to you. Let's work on this. It's not rocket science. We can do this. We can make this better. All right, so that leads me to the scriptures, because every one of these things we're talking about are not simply things that modern day marriage therapists have figured out. These are things that people have always known. They've figured this out, and in scripture we find some basic fundamental scriptural principles that lead us to these same conclusions. So Leviticus 19:18, Moses offers this. Jesus quotes it as the second great commandment. I want you to read it with me. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now the love there is agape. It's selflessness, it's sacrifice, it's giving and blessing. Love your neighbors, you love yourself. What happens when you look at your mate or the person you're dating as your neighbor, or your mom or your kids or the rest of your family? But here in this romantic, in this romantic relationship, what happens when I say, I want to love you as I love myself? And then Jesus also says that the law and the prophets can be summarized by the golden rule. You remember what it says? Let's read it together. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.